I realized fucked up and we didn't watch any Thanksgiving movies this holiday season.
What is like a Thanksgiving movie?
Well, Thanksgiving movie is a movie that features Thanksgiving in some way. Thanksgiving is a holiday that was last week.
No, it's not like other holidays though, where there's a plethora of themed movies, right?
Charlie Brown had one, I'm pretty sure.
Movies we would watch, cool movies, horror movies,
Indeed.
right?
Well, we
It's
watched.
not like Christmas. It's
we
not
watched
like
Thankskilling.
other stuff. Yeah, but that's like the only one.
Well, there is another.
There's a Thankskilling 2?
No, there's a Thankskilling 3.
What?
All right, guys, here we're to talk about the movie Thankskilling 3.
Gobble, gobble, motherfucker!
2012's Thankskilling 3. Lee had just seen it before.
No.
But you've seen Thankskilling, I know, because we watched that
Yeah, we
together.
saw Thankskilling 1, and you mentioned that there was like more.
Yes.
Something like that.
So in addition to the live-action play, stage musical, there is a Thankskilling 3. There is no Thankskilling 2. It jumps right to 3, and that is covered in the movie. It may be the first movie to skip a sequel.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know that for a fact, but that sounds like a record they might hold.
Interesting.
So this movie is so much more ridiculous than the first movie. And if you've seen the first movie, that's a weird thing to say. But it's what happens when you give someone who's crazy money.
Yeah, this takes it to like another level.
Yes.
And it changes a lot of the things. It's funny you mentioned, like, the analogy that I was going to use is like, let's say like you like hear a band's first album and it's different. It's crazy. This person is it legal? Can you even do this? This is amazing. This is so crazy. And then they have their second album. But now they have like a record deal, and those are not the songs from high school that they wrote. These are like songs you wrote to sell them to people. And you like the second album too, but it's different. And only certain parts of the first album have been developed. And you have to be like, would I like this album if this is all that I heard? Or am I like fitting it into the puzzle of the first album?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening here. Because honestly, I might love it, I might hate it, I can't really tell. And I think a lot of the like coming off the first movie is like clouding my ability to judge like this one, I think.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, this movie is longer than the first one is a tight 70 minutes. And this is a movie where every couple of minutes, the scenery dramatically changes, the characters dramatically change, you're introduced to new concepts and new styles and new weird things.
Sometimes, yeah, like the medium changes.
Yes.
It's crazy.
And it's in a way where you're like, oh, I have to keep watching because I don't know what's going to happen next. And at the same time, I'm like, is it going to end like soon? Because it's like at any point, it felt like it could end and it would go in a totally different direction.
Yes,
and that's both a plus and a minus. But this movie, the first one had $3,500 of the budget. This one is $112,000.
Wow, still relatively low.
This one set the record when it came out for the highest amount of money earned on Kickstarter ever.
Wow.
They raised $100,000 on Kickstarter to make this movie. So like that alone tells you something.
If I had known, and after seeing the first one, I would have donated back then. So
yeah,
yes, I understand.
Exactly. This is 40 minutes longer than the first one.
Yes.
So like it feels that. I think if this would have been a tight 70 minutes, it might be one of the best movies ever made.
No. I think like what you're saying is like those restrictions of having less than $4,000 the first time forced them to do certain things that I think cut out certain stuff and like maybe turned those shortcomings into jokes.
Yes.
Whereas here they didn't have to. They just had like the freedom or like more. Like $100,000 is still not a lot to make a movie.
For this though,
they did a lot.
I believe based on what's in the credits, they teamed up with some puppet company. So I don't know how much they paid for with that. I think it was like a big advertising plug for them.
I noticed that too. That's interesting. Yeah.
But this is definitely an interesting movie. If you like Thankskilling 1, definitely watch Thankskilling 3. If you like weird shit, if you like puppets.
Yeah, I think if you like movies where puppets talk to people and it's weird and like, like you're saying, like outlandish, like space and this and the ancient curse.
It would fit in properly on Adult Swim. Like it's a weird, if you're high right now.
Oh, if you have access to any drugs.
Yeah, this is that movie.
Watch this movie. I agree. Yeah.
So I will recommend this, but with that caveat of like, it is a bit long at times.
Agreed. It is not the perfect film.
No. But definitely fun. So if you've seen this or don't care, follow us over to spoilers, and if not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
Alright guys, so here we are for the spoilers of Thankskilling 3. So Thankskilling 3, I love that they went for it and that they start this movie in the same way they start the last movie.
Yeah, that was my same
With the
thought.
same girl, right?
Is it?
I think that's the same girl.
I did not look it up. So the first movie
and
begins...
the same first line.
It begins with a bare breast, and the first line is "nice tits, bitch" or something.
Yeah.
Something. I may misquote him here and there.
I believe that is it, but I
He
think
is
it's
the
nice tits,
crude-
bitch, in space or something this
in
time.
space. Yeah.
Nice tits, bitch. In space.
So the turkey, there's a foul-mouthed turkey who's a demonic entity of some sort.
Yeah.
You know what we do.
They kind of gloss over and go over different things about his actual past and how things work. And I actually was like, I'm lost based on what I heard in the beginning. Either I misheard or this and that. And I've seen this a couple times now, and still was unclear on when they destroyed the movies. I could have sworn someone said like, oh, he'll be happy about that. I guess they said he won't be happy about that.
Turkey's gonna be pretty damn pissed when he finds out about this. Best be going now.
There's so much in this movie that happens that after a few weeks, you'll be like, I don't know.
No, it's like a big jumbled mess. I think it's a beautiful mess, but I think it's a big jumbled mess of plot and different stuff. We introduce a lot of characters. There's a lot of stuff happening. It's very crazy. It's very outlandish, etc.
The script of this movie, I can't even imagine it being written.
No, it's not.
And I say that because I don't think it was written. I think they had like 17 ideas from maybe like troubled kindergartners, and they just like threw them together and they landed in a weird order, and they were like, all right, let's just make this cohesive.
Right.
All right.
It's like in a movie, you just take the pieces of paper and line them
And
up.
I
and
say
go
that
like,
with
okay,
love because
good,
it's
yes.
outlandish, and I love outlandish.
It's very outlandish.
But
right?
some of these things are like, who thinks of these things?
Because like the first movie was charming because you have a like the monster, the bad guy, is like a talking puppet, right?
Yeah, one-liner dropping, very
like-
small turkey.
Yes, but that's not referenced really. No one's like, hey, you're a puppet. Like that would be crazy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, instead, we have like just really like incompetent actors delivering like funny lines, weird lines, crazy again, like outlandishy stuff. But it's much smaller. It's much more self-contained. It's like very different.
Yes.
Right? Here you have puppets like very quickly there's like a real like Muppet type puppet like in a trash can, then trash starts talking to her and all this crazy stuff. Cartoon things start to splash in, and you've already seen real people and other stuff. Everything's together. You've seen space. You've seen like a fake sitcom set.
It's a fever
You've seen all
dream.
these things. Yes, fever dream is a perfect way to like describe it. And they even go as far as to circle back around and to have people acknowledge
That
what
she is indeed like a puppet. Yeah.
She's a puppet.
No. This is what puppets are based on, man. These things have been around for centuries. You just don't see them.
like what people are, but then add weird stuff to it and everything. So like it is not the same as the first movie. It happens to feature Turkey in it, but that is kind of like almost
Well, Turkey dies at the end of like the first movie, pretty much.
He'll be back.
He's a turkey leg at the end. But in this one, he's back.
He gets reincarnated in
He's a
Turkey
host of
Hill.
a sitcom almost, it seems.
He's like living a sitcom.
It's very weird because they very clearly say he's the last of his kind, but he has a wife, he has a kid.
I mean, hey.
Maybe he's the last man? I don't know.
Like, I like that. So, like, to your point, like, originally, like, I like that idea, but, like, when you're watching the mama turkey just vomit onto the baby turkey.
Yeah.
And then the baby turkey says, "You're not even getting it in my mouth. It's just getting on top of my head." I'm like, oh, it's like self-aware. It's like not good anymore. It's weird. I don't like this.
It dances between these things. Like, and certain things
and like-
I love, and it's unclear even to me if I love just what I'm looking at or the idea or that somebody made these things.
Well,
there's
like-
a worm character that's on like a giant mechanized sludge monster.
like a android or some sort of dude. I came around once we started to throw so many things together. Like during the sitcom part, I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna like this. This is like the failed follow-up. This is like cringy. I don't know.
She's getting fat, and you know what that means next season. Ah, yikes.
But then once like the puppetry and the portals and the different stuff started coming together, I was like, oh no, I actually might love this. I'm not sure. Like, we did different
I
stuff.
was
but
so hardcore
yes,
on board in the very beginning. Like when they're in space, I would have loved to see what 2 was.
Good shooting, Turkey. Ah, Captain Pilot.
See that.
Like if they went back and released 2 now as the 3rd movie, oh, I'd kickstart that shit in a heartbeat.
Agreed.
I think that stuff in space is great. I love that. What is he? He's pilot.
Pie. Yeah.
Pilot, sir. First name's Pie, last name's Let. Pumpkin? You betcha.
I think that's great. He is the
Yeah, I was gonna
disc.
say, like, they actually like faked you out even
The space
there.
stuff looks cool. It gets a little worse when it features like his baster gun and stuff. But in general, I like that. It reminds me of like Ringwald and Moly.
Son of a bitch, I'll kill you!
Like it's got a certain charm to it because they're not ashamed to show like the sticks and the strings and stuff.
Right.
And I don't care. As an audience, I'm like, that doesn't hurt the product at all. I don't need you to go there and painstakingly edit these things out or avoid showing them because I know it's a puppet. I like the puppet.
Yes, I agree. I like that a lot. There's a few times where it's directly or indirectly referenced even.
Yeah, he like cuts a string on a feather or a piece of skin or whatever it is.
That's the end when like the thing falls down and then he cuts the fishing line manually. That's crazy. But I think even a few other times there's like a weird like the worm on the stick does jumps off of something and there's a weird like wah! There's a weird like thing about it. I don't know.
Has anybody gone muff diving before?
There's like little nods to the fact that like they're not trying at all to hide those things. Is my point, I guess. It's like
it's very
upfront.
Mighty Boosh in some respects.
Come closer. Not you, Fire.
Where they put a lot of detail or time into something that is on screen for 1 second.
Yes.
Oh, no problem, Rhonda. Let me just fire up my advanced satellite object tracker here, and it'll be just a minute. Beep, boop, 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 boop.
I love the puppet for the worm changes a lot throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And that's through a series of errors. But at one point, it is a fucking hot dog.
What do you say, you big fat fuck? Be mine forever. Love you, Beth.
For like a couple of frames with no acknowledgement, and I love that. I love it so much.
And you would think, oh, well, they had to go like film that line, and like, no, it's still on the shoulders, all this other shit. There's no excuse, and like maybe that is really the excuse.
It's
but that's
one of my
insane.
favorite parts of the movie.
Really,
it made
really
me
good.
laugh very hard. There's a part where just I think it's like Muff, the android guy. His legs are just no one's in the suit and they're just flopping around, and that made me laugh. These little stupid things that like I'm sure were annoying to film, honestly. Because you had to go back and like dangle the fucking shit.
like that's a highlight for me too. So like to be clear, this robot's just pacing while the worm's monologuing, and you could just cut to whoever is literally pacing to show their feet, just as a cutaway. But instead, they go back and they film empty legs just going, just we're gonna burnizing down the thing for like no reason. It makes no sense why they would do that. Yeah, I know, but like yes, those are the things that knock it out of the park for me.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, wait, this doesn't have to happen like this. What's happening?
No.
Yeah.
And they do it. So there's so many different puppets in this, like a crazy amount of puppets that
And
like
different types of puppets.
Yes, that are not needed for the script at all.
Where did you see him?
In there.
The oven?
Yes, anyways, find that mind fleece face.
They're all throwaway gags, and that is what makes the movie amazing, and I think slows it down some because it doesn't assist the plot dramatically. It's just there as extra like shit along the way, which I appreciate it so much, but I also am like, come on.
It's hard. You want to be delicate, right? Because there are things that I liked so much, and there's almost nothing where I would not agree. We didn't need quite as much of that. We didn't need quite as much as Grandma, right? We didn't need exactly the amount.
I'm glad. So you bring up Grandma here. Grandma is a horrific monster of a character.
Last night I grabbed onto D'Angelo's cock, brought it in my mouth, and held on for dear life. Does that sound like love?
Yes.
But
the most
she's
disgusting
awesome.
puppet. Yeah, it's great.
And I love how she works. Like one hand, I guess, of the puppet is glued to the joystick. The other hand is the puppeteer, and the mouth is the puppeteer.
Right.
So like the guy's like sitting, I imagine, underneath this wheelchair or something.
Yeah.
Sitting on 13's wheelchair, hella clean. I used to knit and sew, but now I'm off that BETV screen.
Her character is so gross,
Yes.
and that is something that is so special because the puppets, again, they're all so different, and that is what's so charming.
Because it's not a movie about like, oh, we're all cops, but there's puppets and we're barely gonna mess with it, and all the puppets look the same, all the people look the same. The people are even weird.
My long pike came. It came. My long pike came.
Thanksgiving just got fucked.
Everything is weird. The scene where the grandma, like, it's like quick cuts and she like grabs the guy and goes, if you say one more thing, you're gonna be pissing out of a catheter or some weird whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's better than that. But it's like,
I think it's the opposite. I think she threatens to put her catheter inside him,
like a catheter
you wanna
milkshake.
suck my shit bag or something. Yeah.
One more word out of you, and you'll be drinking a catheter milkshake.
Gross!
Crazy. She's very crude, just like the turkey, which I'm.
She's
not,
a rapper.
Yes. Well, she's from.
Her
the
name is
streets,
Flois.
which
At the
is
end of the movie, if you
choice.
stay past the credits, she has a rap video.
Discount at McDonald's, I'd like me a McChicken. There's a hole in my box that you could stick a dick in.
It's pretty good.
It actually is pretty decent. I think so. She is the mother of the two main living boy characters.
Humans.
Yes, there's only really two humans in the movie.
Are they brothers? I guess they are.
They're brothers in the movie
I thought that they were like he was.
because
not
they
his
both
actual
say
blood
mom.
brother. Okay.
It's early on, you know that it's the guy who dies,
yeah.
mom, but then later on, it's just like, oh, sorry about your mom or something like that. And that could be an error, but I'm not sure if it was an error by me or by them, but I'm fairly certain.
Either way, we have two human boys that want to start a Thanksgiving Land theme park.
The brother who dies, the one to the head of security,
I don't want an employee of mine long piking little kids' hands off.
Then I can't do my job. Then I literally cannot be the head of security at Thanksgiving Land.
I didn't think he was funny at all until he died. Once he died, he was hysterical.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
His like come to heaven things and like, oh no, fuck you. Like,
Oh. Hey, yo, me. Oh, you want to come to heaven? Fuck you.
I didn't like him much at all, but the one part where, cause like it's like a like repeating gag, so he's like you know whenever anyone's near death and like they see the light and it's
Yeah.
him and he's like come to heaven and he says dumb shit, but during one of them someone's dying and like and he's like what is his name, who is he, okay, yeah, and he doesn't know because they do it for they do it for every character and that's a character he never met when he was alive. So like what are you doing?
Come on up to heaven. What's his name? Muff. Hi, Muff.
Yeah, it's great.
and that's a callback to the first movie where they do like, oh, come on.
Come on, it's fun, you know, there's no turkeys up here. Whatever he says. But that's a good example of like, you know, something in the first movie and now we have developed that idea into something else, right? Yeah.
And there's not a ton of those like callbacky things. The guys from the first movie were in that commercial for the Turkeyinator or whatever it was called, like the Turkey Maker or whatever the fuck that is.
Oh my Nilly. Are you tired of the hours it takes to prepare a turkey? Did you marry your wife not for her cooking, but because she can fuck?
And that gave me questions too, because it seemed like he was a successful like Billy Mays type guy. And then like he's selling an item.
Uncle Donnie here, and this Thanksgiving, I'm here to simplify your life. Introducing the Pluckmaster 3000.
That a turkey runs through, that you buy, and then at his house there's a gigantic version of it.
I didn't do it.
That makes it seem like
the real version.
Well, he said like, oh, I had to buy gallons or whatever. That's how my family died because wolves also like mashed potatoes or whatever. And I'm like, was he selling turkey prepared meals? Because that's what having that giant thing at your house makes me think. But you were originally selling these things, and the turkey kid has a miniature version.
Uncle Donnie's Pluckmaster 3000. Every kid in America wants one.
Or is that only miniature because the set is smaller? I don't know.
I don't think that I can't say the sentence. I don't think that the little turkey's easy bake oven version of the real thing is what he bought in the other dimension. That's the giant thing that takes up the whole room.
Oh no, not that.
Yeah.
I was talking about the ones that he sells in the commercial.
Right. No,
seem
yeah.
like they're the size of a microwave that do all the things that gigantic fucking thing does. That is sentient. That talks. That
As
is
an AI, yes.
Yes.
Well. Hello, old friend.
No, there's like a stuffing phase, so something's going into the turkey, so it must have those prepared. I don't know.
guess.
I don't know what's going on, but
It's very strange. I like it. I like strange.
I think in general, I don't know what's going on, but I'm okay with that. It's probably like my response to most things.
You could get
right?
lost real easy. If you took a bathroom break during this movie, you would come back and you would meet 7 new characters. You'd have no idea what was happening.
Yeah.
But you'd see a lot of interesting shit. I really like the Muff character, how he looks.
Yeah.
There's something really great about him. He looks like he would fit right into like Robot Bastard or something. I like that kind of shit. I would like them to do more things with like props and costumes and bullshit. Him and the worm character, it's a nice combination. I like that bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like South Parkian. It has a great Matt and Trey vibe, which is a super compliment to anybody because they're amazing.
Looks like early worm. just got the bird.
A few of the characters and like the style of the humor sometimes.
Yes.
You could say like, oh, this is kind of like a Cartman bit. It's kind of like a Kyle and Stan bit here. Yeah, I agree.
I didn't care for the turkey Frankenstein guy. What was his name, like Blach or what do you call him?
I want to be called Blarth. Franken-turkey, it sucks.
I didn't.
Something that rhymes with something else.
I did not like that character necessarily. Kind of reminded me of some of the Henson like Skeksis type things.
Yeah, because that's a guy in a
whatever.
suit costume.
Yeah.
Like that's a biggest puppet.
But I like that we go to Turkey Hell, and it's like all ovens lead to Turkey Hell. That's the last thing they say.
That's
I was like,
pretty
what?
genius, yeah.
And then they go in there, and it's like Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
They're all puppets. They're similar scale. There's like crags and lights and stuff. And I'm like, oh my god. And to your point, like that might be 5 minutes, might be in the movie, right? And like built out this whole thing, and we have a
there's
big
so much stuff
juggernaut
done here.
chasing them.
And
right?
it's not like CG'd bullshit. They didn't Photoshop that. They built things.
Yeah.
And there are shots where you see puppet legs.
Yummy, you're whacking really funny. Did you step in some turkey droppings back there?
No, Rhonda, that's just how I walk.
Like there's it's a full set. It's not just a like 2 feet up, a guy sitting on the ground and things are happening. You had to build that.
Now there's a
to
whole
then
environment.
marionette these motherfuckers through it.
Just for like a wide shot, just to talk to some rats,
Yeah.
just to do whatever, right? Yeah. It reminds me of like Labyrinth or something like that, where you're like, what? Where like you go somewhere and then you think it's one thing and then it cuts to another angle and you're like, oh my god, what are you doing? Why would you do that?
No, I'm very impressed. A good use of their money here. I do want more things. I doubt we're getting any more Thankskillings though, just because of the time. But because of what the characters are and the fact that no one really has to carry over except for the voice of Turkey, and that is the director, you really could get one 20 years from now and it would still be the same movie.
I have a bone to pick here.
What do you got?
The director.
Oh, Wishbone?
Ooh. The writer-director, voice of Turkey, also voiced Yomi. And I feel like that took away from that character a little bit.
Yomi, what on earth?
What? I'm trying to find peace of my mind. You said it was at Thanksgiving, right?
Jefferson, put her down.
Because the voice was just like this fake, like it's just a guy doing like what's going on there? And that works on some level, but it started to grate on me after
a lot of the voices felt like that though. So I don't know, like, did that take away or did it add? I'm not sure.
That is the eternal question.
I didn't watch it going, I know who that voice is, so like I guess that it worked. The Yomi character I don't like very much in general. I don't understand her. I don't know why her mind is missing. Her mind just like leaves.
So long, Yomi. Don't be afraid.
You don't know.
And there's no like, it left for some reason. Like
the stuff, I like the look of the puppet a lot. So there were a lot of scenes with her mixed in with stuff and how they filmed certain pieces. Like if I think of like the points of the movie where I was like, I might love this, it's usually involving Yomi.
Yeah.
The character itself, I don't really have any attachment to or anything. Yeah, but yeah.
Yes.
There's less great one-liners from Turkey in this one, and like Turkey was what made that first one for me. Like the scene with the sheriff's face in the first one is the funniest scene in most movies. Most movies do use that clip. They have it somewhere in the background. It's single frame.
Splice it in.
Yeah, you know.
No, I agree. And there's and this movie expands on everything and has less time for that. I don't like the Turkey's like sense of humor or something, right? I don't really like weird, crude, like pointless type humor. But yeah, you feel the lack of that. And like when he does do it, it's not as good sometimes, right? It doesn't feel
the good one
same.
here is the homage to Evil Dead, when Turkey is locking in that now on its missing penis a chainsaw, and it does like. It might even be the exact sounds from the movie or a great copy, and they filmed it in the exact way that I was like I know exactly what that is, and then to like put the icing on the cake, Turkey goes groovy.
Oh, okay.
Or does he say gravy? He should say gravy. That would be genius.
Okay, I think he says gravy, and I think I didn't catch this reference, but now that you say it, makes perfect sense. Yes.
Gravy.
When he gets resurrected after he gets turkified or whatever, gets plucked out.
They're missing my giblets. I don't think he said giblets. I think he said
no.
I think they say everything else. They should have said giblets. This like might be the most ambitious sequel ever made, though.
I mean, honestly.
You have to take it into account. So like, The first movie being $3,500 and this one being $112,000. That's already like, you're like, wow, that's an insane difference. Like
As a percentage,
you probably
like,
don't know how
crazy.
to use money at that point because you're not used to having any.
You don't know what money is.
Like you'd be like, I have no problems. Money. I don't have problems. Money. Like, and the first one was filmed in 11 days.
Okay.
This one was filmed in 50 days.
Yes.
Now, I would love to know, I didn't see anywhere, how many days of prep there were, because years, maybe?
Yes, this
Because
feels like that type of movie, yeah.
how much sets and bullshit, or maybe he just had so many people working with him with that school helping, it might have been like, okay, everyone that goes to school, your final product is this movie. Okay, you're all going to get credit. Thank you. No money, just credit. Could be your thing here. Because it's such a big difference. It's like an astronomical thing. You have a fight scene that takes place in like a Sega game.
I was gonna bring that up as an example of something that like drags on too long, but is really cool. But
It
yes,
does drag on.
It is like a lo-fi because they cut back and forth.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. Wise Turkey is fighting Turkey, and it goes like brrr, brrr, with like text popping up, like it's like an old video game, and it's crazy. Why is this, like, part of me is like, oh, is this like a cop-out to not show it? Well, it can't be. You showed so much. Like, no, this must be
I feel like that's almost harder.
Yeah, there's
In
like
fact, I know it's harder.
Yeah, there's like a notebook where it's like, we need this, we need this, we need this. These are all of my ideas. I'm doing everything in this movie.
Yeah, because there's like a different style of cartoon where like they're riding a fake seagull and that's like painted onto the screen or something. Like in a weird way that makes you think there was a puppet that didn't look good or something and they just painted over it. I don't know.
Oh no.
Didn't it look weird to you?
It looked weird, like they took a picture of a seagull and like warp stretched it to
Yeah,
make it like do its things or whatever. But that's the thing, is like from shot to shot, from scene to scene, there's different media being used and mediums or whatever.
A lot.
To like explain things or do things.
And just that, like to add in all these things. I love that alley that when he first comes out, it's like this weird spray painted awesome alley that I was like, what is this? Is this his corporate office? Where are we?
Where are we?
Like it doesn't look like it's in the middle of like the ghetto or something. It looks like it's probably in some really hipster fucking area because it's like beautiful light paintings and stuff. Did it not click with you as a?
I don't know what you're talking about.
When Uncle Donnie comes out of the stairs,
First comes out and meets Yomi.
Yes.
Okay, when he's like up the stairs
Yeah.
and everything like that. Yeah, no, and the dude's like yelling at him, "Hey, Uncle Donnie!"
Uncle Donnie. Yes,
Yeah.
you at that point you think he's famous and successful.
Right.
He has a billboard on the wall right there. But then he doesn't have money. He lives in this tiny shack with his grandmother and
He's
his brother.
saving up his money for Thanksgiving land.
I guess Thanksgiving land is a very weird thing. And the fact that the sign that was in their house is the sign at the park, you're like, wait a minute. Humans can't walk under that. Is this for puppets?
All right. So get this, right?
No, he literally had everything ready to go.
I guess. That was, I think I would have stopped short of showing Thanksgiving Land.
There's too much. It goes too long.
Thanksgiving Land itself is just like a broken down Ferris wheel type of thing.
Yeah, it's like a real amusement park.
There's nothing really happening there. I think if you
the
would have had
gravy's gonna be here.
Rent a boardroom for like a day and have a table with a big miniature thing here and just like fake an investor meeting. Okay, so we break ground tomorrow and this is on the Kendi Yam River and all that shit would happen there. Yeah,
I love it.
Something like
Another
that.
puppet, like a gross old man. I love it.
No,
He
it
shakes
would cut
his hand.
to the worm like riding the scale fucking roller coaster around the outside or the train or something.
Oh.
Something
Yeah, because
like
the worm's
that.
alive too. Yeah.
Yeah, the worm dies. The worm comes back. And it seemed like he died in a way just to fuck with Muff. He's like, Muff, I'm dying, even though he knows like he can regrow his tail and he'll be fine.
Yeah,
and like
Muff kills
Muff
him,
kills
actually.
himself for that.
Muff, no!
Like you are the reason your boy Muff is
He
dead.
doesn't consider Muff to be like a living thing. He
Yeah,
calls
he's
it
a
to his
prick.
head. I'm gonna fix the worm is a prick. There's a few things. This is more of the crudeness, which I don't hate because it's crude. I hate because it's just like not funny to me. Where it's like I have to loosen his butthole and all that stuff.
Gotta make sure that sphincter is nice and loose.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is a little too weird. But there's one amazing thing when all of a sudden, while they're in the turkey hell, it cuts back to like the puppets from the puppets somehow, and the worm is like in Yomi's mouth. She's like sucking it or something like
he's
that.
dreaming about it.
Yeah, and I'm,
Nut, Yomi. Yeah, baby.
I'm like that. Something about that. It was really funny the way that was executed or whatever.
But wait, what am I supposed to do with this?
So like another one of those like crude moments, but I laughed a little bit, was the grandma says, "I'm Down syndrome with the sickness."
Everybody else okay?
Bro, I'm Down syndrome with the sickness. I'm always okay.
Yeah, her whole thing is just an endless barrage of, like, she's the Cartman to me, where she's
Yeah.
like, I'm the best, we best.
Yeah, she's just saying offensive things repeatedly.
Exactly.
And with what she looks, anything she was to say would be offensive.
Yeah, she offends all the senses.
Yeah.
Which I think is intentional, which I like.
Oh, for
yes,
sure.
Obviously. But, yes.
But yeah, it's effective. I like it.
Yes.
And it's clearly just a shitty wheelchair, but they add the sounds whenever it moves. Fantastic.
And the boombox always stays there, and everything
Yeah.
always happens right the same way. Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck you up. Ever been camelback riding?
In the Grandma Canyon.
So at the end of the day, I give this, like, you know, a thumbs up in that you should watch it. It is like an adventure in what is possible for humans to make, and like not even a like a hanger way of saying that, where it's like, this, look what humans can make. This is very visually stunning at times and impressive. If not like a little long-winded, but certainly ridiculous and a must-watch for anyone who likes the outlandish.
Yeah, I think it's a good, like, I don't know what they call this, gateway or entry level thing. If you like crude horror or like whatever and jokes and whatever stuff, and then you're cool with the puppets and the funny end of it, this is a good, because a lot of movies that are this outlandish can be a little pretentious, they can have a weird theme running through them or something like that, but this is much more pure in a way of like, this is like you're saying, it's like an aspirational, like, look at this amazing, the weird thing that people created. That is a little slow at times.
It almost reminds me of what somebody's first movie would be if they're like, I may never make another movie.
Yes.
I have to make every type of movie.
In the same movie.
In the same movie.
It has that feel.
And it
which
could
I
also
like.
work if it was your last movie. But I think this man's still doing stuff.
Yeah.
At least I hope.
Did Headhunter.
Yes, actually. That was great.
Crazy that the same guy did both of those
It
things.
doesn't even make sense.
I know.
Wow. I forgot that he did that movie. Holy shit.
I forgot too. And I go on the IMDb, I'm like, what?
Yeah. But it shows off his skills and stuff. Yeah. I think, again, like, reeled it in. That's a shorter movie, and I think that's his niche.
So he's back on his
Because that was like 70 minutes, wasn't it? It was short.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal.
And that's another one where, like, not to do a whole review of Headhunter right now, but there's a certain amount of restraint that takes place there with not showing things and not including certain stuff. Small cast, kind of like these other movies were, right? Back to the groove.
2 thumbs up, make more shit. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
You lost my dick?
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinion